Again, so it's just a few days later, I'm back in the garage and picking up where I left off, hopefully. So I've reassembled the wheel, put that back into the forks, everything's loose. The top crown nuts are secured, but everything else is pretty much loose right now. I've fixed the brake plate just temporarily back to the fork leg, just to hold that plate in place when I apply the brake. And now I'm going to try a few new things. So I'm going to drop the bike off the stand and bounce it around a little bit, and then see when it reaches, you know, that optimal position, and then start tightening everything up. And that would be essentially my baseline setting for the reinstallation of the front mudguard, and then everything else that will be tightened up beyond that point, starting from top to bottom. Okay, so we're going to take the bike off the stand, bounce everything up and down, and we'll see what things look like now. Just a reminder that I've turned the stanchions for both legs about 25%, so they're actually facing, well, doesn't really matter, but they're facing off to one side by about a quarter of a turn. So taking the bike off the stand, everything's loose again. And I guess it dropped down a little bit there. So just do some bouncing up and down a bit. Yeah. It's really not so bad. But you see, pull the brake there and it went straight down. It comes back up again, but it's a tug. But the wheel is, of course I haven't tightened the nut or anything on the axle, but it's moving around quite a bit. So I might just sort of finger tighten that and see if at least it holds in a more straight position. And I'll tighten that up and try again. But watch when I press the brakes. I'll roll forward. Here's the seal holders, fork seal holders. Straight down. But I guess it's still bouncy. Better. Okay. Yeah, it's too wobbly to actually make a difference there. To actually get it in at least a decent starting location to tighten things up. So yeah, I'll start over with this. Okay, I'm back again, and I think I've gone as far as I can with these front forks. So I've done a lot of work since the last clip. I've taken the bike on and off the stand several times, and readjusted the axle as well. I've nipped it up just a little bit because I found that it was drifting out as I was bouncing up and down. So I'm feeling now that the bike is at the best, the most optimal position right now, and so I've nipped things up. I'm ready to restart the rebuild process now. I honestly don't think that when you take the bike off the stand or are riding it that you see these fork seals. I think that only happens when you lift the bike off the stand, and I believe the only way around that would be to install possibly longer or firmer springs that would essentially push or put a heavier spring force within those forks there. So I'm feeling quite good. I feel a lot better about the return springiness of the forks as well, but I think it's inevitable now. I think I've gone as far as I need to go with this, so I'm going to start the rebuild process. But before I do that, I'm going to take it off the stand one more time just to show you what happens when the bike's off the stand and how freely it moves up and down at the front end. So you see it drops right down, but smoothly this time, and still takes a little bit of effort, but there's a lot of weight there, but way smoother. And then if I apply the brake, it's actually needing some new pads, I realise. Let's pull back. It drops anyway because of the weight, and then just drops forward. But even with the brake on now, it moves up and down, and I haven't tightened the front wheel up either, so it will get a little tighter. But that's it. Even when I pull all the way back now, it will drop back a bit, meaning that the springs alone aren't enough to hold the forks back whenever the bike is off the stand. So there's a little glimpse of it there actually, which is not too bad, but I did pull the bike back there. So that's it for now. I'll just take a few little clips of the rebuild process, but that's it for now. Okay, thanks. So one of the first jobs as part of this reassembly will be to reassemble the nacelle top. And so you'll see the bottom parts of the nacelle are already installed and are loosely fitted as well through those pinch bolts that go through the bottom fork tree, the bottom lug. So I'll reassemble the top of the nacelle now, reassemble or reconnect all the wires, install the horn, and also I'm trying out these new bars as well. I went for an M-type bar, more of a drop bar as well rather than the sit up and beg bars that normally are associated with this model. I was kind of looking for a bit more of an aggressive stance with this bike, so we'll see. Hopefully the dry fit worked fine. I actually had a piece welded into the middle of these bars that came from Ace Classics in London, because they simply didn't reach through the centre of the holes within the nacelle, so they were touching or rubbing at the top of the nacelle hole on each side. So hopefully it will be a much more enjoyable and aggressive look to the bike once this fits. We're making some progress. This is the state of the bike now, and I've fitted the nacelle top, and it's a tricky little devil, but anyway it looks like it's better than it was anyway, for sure. And you'll see I've got the nice embellished stripes added at the side, and on the top these little guys here are tricky as heck to get in there. We've got the steering damper, and this was one of the main reasons why I took this whole front end apart. Was you can see the handlebars, they're kind of towards the top of the nacelle. This is the best I'm going to get, I think, for now until the next rebuild, but I'm pretty pleased with this. The fact that I can get the rubber grommets in behind the bars, that was a real challenge before, and so it's looking a lot better. And now I'm just about to reassemble and reconnect all the cables, put the headlight shell on, and then the final installation of the headlight, and then we'll see where it goes from there. Should also mention that the horn grille is fitted as well. That's a really nice look on this particular model. So from 56 this was a horn grille, whereas before I think 54 and 55, definitely 55, it was a small pilot light, similar sort of shape, and that was quite a nice look. But I do like this chrome grille here, and of course those pinch bolts here for the nacelle shrouds or the nacelle fork legs, they need to be tightened up appropriately as well. Once I've got everything lined up, I'll start tightening down. It's about 2 hours later, and I've finished putting the top on the nacelle and spent a bit of time making sure that all the cables are reconnected tightly. Put the headlight rim on and then the headlight shell itself, and put the cables through the headlight nacelle, and just a bit of work needed, but it is looking a lot nicer. But I do realise it's very, very tight. Of course, everything's new, so to speak, you know, having been restored, and so I am sensing that it's pretty tight, especially down here again at the legs. And I've persuaded them to line up, but I think it's probably going to take a little bit of bedding in, so to speak. But I really like the look, the stance of the bars now. You see how they're more like a drop bar. Yeah, I'm very happy with those. They were pretty much upright, in fact, if not even higher than that before, but this is a very nice look. So looking back the other way, you'll see that M shape and how they come out through the nacelle, which is where I was having my problem, and then they start heading downwards as well, which I particularly like. I just wanted more of a race style to go with the softer blue colour. So that's where we are right now, and then tomorrow I'll start putting the mudguard assembly back together, and then that should be it for now. Okay, so thanks for watching, everyone. Working on the guard now. I've loosely reassembled it with the stays, and everything's super loose right now. I'm just getting ready to put the wheel back on, and then we'll get everything realigned and then tightened up. Okay, so finally made it. And everything's back together, just a few minor adjustments here and there. The brake cable, for example, is not going through the nacelle at the moment. I still need to get some new brake pads, so that will be another job. But overall, I'm really happy with the look of the bike and the performance of the forks. Not so happy, but I guess satisfied is probably a more appropriate word. So here's how it's looking now. And so just a generally a kind of sleeker look at the front. And, that's it for now. Let's take a quick look on the other side. Okay, thanks everyone for watching and for all your advice.